Hello, how are you? Look, got this out the way. Good afternoon, good afternoon. I'm excited about helping you guys learn what it takes to burn belly fat. By popular demand, a lot of people want to learn how to burn belly fat. And I got some information that is going to, if you pay attention, if you listen, and if you follow the guidelines and the tips of how to get rid of belly fat, you will have no problem getting rid of belly fat. It's something that is very much so possible. And the great thing is, hey guys, that whatever belly fat you have, if you look down and just look at your belly fat and just know it's waiting to be burned. It's waiting to be burned, and it can be burned. All right. You are not ever at a lose-lose situation. You can always burn away belly fat, but you gotta understand, first of all, your individual biology and exactly the source of your belly fat, because there are different sources where your belly fat will come from. So, hey guys, how are you? Hey from Hawaii. Yes, doing the detox. Awesome. Yeah, I did put the link up because a lot of people are still asking, is the detox program open? Yes, it is. All right. So you lost 4 inches. Glenda says she lost 4 inches from the detox. Hey, make sure you email me that, your results, Glenda, at info@healthyandbetter.com, because I like to know when people are having results. So the link is on the title of this Facebook. You can click on it. And the way it's designed is for you to get healthy foods in your system, lose weight, get healthier skin, detox all the toxins that have been stored up, cleanse the colon out, all of that. So make sure you check it out by clicking the link. And it's a very affordable price, only $14. So I have 2 programs, one food and one smoothie based. And I also have a training video, a whole hour of training where I teach you exactly how to detox on a day-to-day basis so that you can continue to stay nice and slim, build muscle, get good skin, energy levels, mental clarity, all of that, and just the different ways that you can detox. All right. Okay, so let me get started. I don't want to prolong it. I want you to get this information and I want you to use it. And listen, information is powerful, but listen, if you don't do nothing with it, you're not going to see the results. All right. So I want some of you all to be my somewhat guinea pigs. I don't know. I don't want to call you pigs, my whatever. And use the information so that you can see the results. This stuff is workable. And I do this on a day-to-day basis. I'm not just genetically thin. You know what I mean? I do certain things to make sure that my body, my metabolism is being sped up, that my stomach is staying down. I've had 3 children. So, and yes, when them kids come out, your stomach is still big. All right. So I had to use some of this stuff to get rid of that belly fat from my children. All right. So, and of course I did things to help maintain and like worked out while I was pregnant and things like that. So if you do what I'm telling you, you're going to see results. Now, first things first, belly fat. I'm going to give you, first of all, it depends on your age, if you're female or male, but I'm going to give you some recommended percentages of fat, period, that that is safe for you. So if you have more than so much percentage of fat on your body, then you're going to increase your risk for disease. Okay. So for women, if you're 20 to 40, this is in the ballpark. This is not, 20 to 40 under 21% is amazingly healthy. 21 to 33% is healthy. All right. So, but once you start getting over 33%, you have too much body weight, body fat. If you're over 20, 41 to 60, amazing, is under 23%. Healthy is, and they say that it could be a little bit under fat if you're under that. But I've always been, I've been somewhere between 15 and 20%. And that's like, for a woman, that's like athletic type amounts. But 21 to 25% for a woman is good. If you're over 50%, you have a serious problem, and you have a serious problem with a high risk for disease. 61 to 79, under 24 is amazing. Healthy, 24 to 36%. Anything over 36% is horrible. For men, 20 to 40, under 8%, is amazing. 8 to 19% is okay. 19 to 25 is too much. Men should have less fat. 41 to 60, under 11% is good. 11 to 20 is under 11% is amazing. 11 to 22 is healthy, and overweight would be over 22% probably. And then 61 to 70, or 61 and above, I would say under 13% is good. 13 to 25 is still healthy, and then over 25 is bad. So I just want to throw that out there really quickly for you. So no, they don't really vary for ethnicities, just for age and male or female. Men should not have as much fat as women. And so we're starting to see that they do have just as much fat as women. And so, so men may have more work to do, but it's easier, I think, for men to burn body fat because the testosterone levels are high, and that helps with body fat. All right. So here is the best way nowadays. Now you can have a fat, machine, a body fat scale to be able to know where you are. And some gyms have it where you can, they can test to see the percentage of your body fat. Make sure you know it. Now, here's another way to know how healthy you are. And that is to do the hip to waist ratio. And I think I wrote that down. To do the hip to waist ratio. And what that is that's where you measure your hips and you measure your waist, and then you divide them. Okay. So you're going to measure the smallest. You're going to breathe all the way out. You're going to take a measuring scale. You can do it in centimeters. Just make sure it's the same. You're going to breathe all the way out, and you're going to measure the lowest part of your waist around the belly button, but the lowest, or the smallest part of your waist. Okay. Or it might be right above the belly button, but the smallest part of your waist, you're going to get that number. And then you're going to go to your hips around the butt area, and you're going to measure the biggest part of your hip butt. Okay. And then you're going to divide them. So you're going to divide the waist by the hip. So the hip number should be, the bigger number should be at the bottom, the hip number. That's going to tell you. Now, obviously, if you got belly fat, then your waist is going to be measuring big. Okay. And if you're over, if you're, I think if it's over 0.8, if it's over 0.8, then 0.8 is good. If you can get anywhere near 0.8%, or just at 0.8, when you do the dividing, then you're at a good place. Anything, when you start getting over that, what happens is you start putting yourself at major risk. Okay. You start putting yourself at major risk for cardiovascular disease. All right. So you don't want that. Okay. So I just want to throw that out there too, also, because you need to know what that number is going to look like for you. All right. Now let me get into some good stuff. All right. First things first, let me break the fad about the diet and the exercise for belly fat. You first need to know if your belly fat is coming from cortisol. Okay. Because if your belly fat is coming from cortisol, a diet will not fix it. Does that make sense? A diet does not fix cortisol. A diet lowers calories, but it doesn't lower cortisol. So there is a big difference. That means that you could be eating perfectly, but if your cortisol levels are high, if that is the reason why you have belly fat, then you have to lower your cortisol. This is not a diet issue. This is not even an exercise issue. It can't be fixed. All right. So how do you know if it's a cortisol issue? You're stressed. You don't get enough sleep at night. Your adrenal glands are broken. So what happens is the adrenal glands sit on top of the kidneys and they release cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone. Okay. It helps us to deal with stress. But when the adrenal glands are broke down from too much stress, then you have higher levels of cortisol. All right. And then it affects your sleep. It affects everything. So if you are stressed and you're emotionally stressed, and it could be toxic relationships, it could be your job, it could be anything, whatever it is, it could be trauma, something that happened, whatever it is, it is, yes, it is stubborn fat. Whatever it is, you need to fix your stress levels. So you have to, and I know this may sound very simple, but if you got if you got relationships that are stressing you out, and your stomach is big and you're like so stressed, for example, from this relationship, you have to figure out a way to de-stress. All right. You have to, because if you don't, it doesn't matter if you diet. I don't care if you go on a fast for 21 days. You will not lose the belly fat if it's the source of it is cortisol, because that does not get rid of cortisol. Lowering your stress levels will get rid of cortisol. So if you got to take a nice bubble bath, take walks away from people, start dumping folks, getting them out of your life, finding out ways to handle the stress of your job. You need to, if you need emotional healing, you need more self-love, you need counseling, do that, because that's going to get rid of the belly fat. All right. So make sure you know the difference. All right. Because if you are stressed, how do you know if you got adrenal gland fatigue? You are super stressed. You're irritable. You're anxious. You're not patient. You get mad at people's mistake. You have racing thoughts. You can't sleep at night. You have anxiety. These are all signs that you have adrenal fatigue. And if you have adrenal fatigue, then your cortisol levels are going to be high. And that is the source of a lot of people's belly fat. I have to say that. All right. So, yeah, if you got to switch your job because it's just so stressful that it's going to make you sick, then that's what you have to do. All right. And I promise you that the less stress you have, the better you sleep, because cortisol also decreases melatonin. Melatonin is what helps you relax and sleep at night, helps with metabolism. All right. So, and if you have high level of cortisol, it's going to decrease melatonin and it's going to decrease human growth hormone. You need human growth hormone. There are ways that you can increase human growth hormone, and all of these other lists I'm going to give you are going to help to increase human growth hormone also. But you can also take GABA, GABA. That is a supplement that you can take, and you can take arginine, okay, to help boost human growth hormone also. All right. So I just wanted to get that, because if you're stressed from relationships or whatever, you have to deal with that stuff. All right. So this could be the source of your belly fat. If this is you and you're like, I do eat good, I do intermittent fast, I exercise, I just can't get rid of this belly fat, then you need to sleep more. You need to get rid of the stress, because then for you, that's cortisol. And again, diet cannot fix cortisol. Diet can fix calories and reducing calories and helping to burn fat in other ways, but it will not reduce cortisol. I'm sorry to tell you that. You're not going to be able to do enough sit-ups to get it out the way. But I hope that this helps you, because maybe that's you. All right. Now let's go through really quickly some other things that you can do to burn belly fat. All right. First of all, you got to eat fat burning foods. OK, so you want to make sure that you have your fiber that can help cleanse the colon, protein, healthy fats. OK, you need healthy fats, omega-3 fats. All right. Lower the carbs, but healthy fats help your body to burn more fat. And you have to eat metabolizing foods like ginger, cayenne pepper, turmeric. They activate the fat burning in your body. They have a thermogenic effect, and so they help to boost up metabolism. So you need that. So a healthy fiber, protein, and healthy fats, and of course your phytonutrients. You should be getting a lot of vegetables. All right. So if you have a smoothie with a good balance of that, it will look like some bone broth for the protein, MCT oil for the healthy fat, chia seeds, maybe even for the healthy fat. Maybe you can throw some ginger in there because that's got the thermogenic effect. It heats the body up, boosts the metabolism. Or if you have like a salad, all right, with, chickpeas and olive oil on top, or avocado oil with some avocados on it, and a piece of wild caught salmon, that's really good. OK, now make sure you're getting rid of the sugar, the white potato chips, all of that, if you're trying to burn belly fat. OK, so now here's what I will say. Now, come on. You have to have a high quality protein. Stop eating this junky meat. Don't eat farm raised fish. Stop eating non-organic chicken and stuff, and stop eating this stuff with hormones and estrogen in it and genetically modified. I You just don't understand what you're eating if you don't eat grass-fed or organic meat. I'm sorry. Boost your food budget up. Stop eating this meat because it's genetically modified and it's going to mess your body up, and it's going to mess up with your estrogen levels, and it's going to cause you to have fat. So you have to start making sure. I tell my husband all the time when he go to the grocery store, do not bring me home farm raised salmon. It has to be wild caught, okay? Don't bring me home beef that's not grass fed. I'm not going to eat it. Don't bring me home butter that's not grass fed or organic. I'm not going to eat it. I need to make sure that the animal that I'm going to eat, and that's of course if you eat meat, the animal that I eat was not. The chicken cannot have been in a cage eating junk and dirt, and then I'm going to eat that. And then they take the chicken, they kill the chicken, then they go and look at what they do to chickens when they put estrogen in them, when they put the hormones in them. It's like it's like a shot that they put, and then the chicken blow up just immediately. Like, it's disgusting. And they do that so that the weight can be heavier so that they can sell it for a higher price. But if only you knew that the eggs, if you got, a chicken that's been in a cage, it ain't been treated right, has not been on a vegetarian diet, like, you don't want to eat that. Like, you don't want to eat some animal that's been eating garbage. Okay? Because that, if you could see the way these animals look when they're distorted, when they are genetically modified, I promise you pay more for meat. You will look at it, and if they gave you a well-kept vegetarian chicken or cow, and then you saw a distorted, like, genetically modified, almost look like a monster type of cow, you would not want to eat it. But that's what you're eating when you don't get it like that. So make sure you are careful with that. All right. So also, again, make sure you're adding metabolism boosters. Bone broth is really good. Ashwagandha is really good. Pepper, cinnamon. Add these things to your foods. All right. The second thing, really quick, intermittent fasting. Fasting in general, okay, helps you to burn a lot of fat. So basically, you're just shortening the window of time that you're eating. I will talk about fasting on another Facebook Live, but we're not talking about reducing calories, because that can sometimes mess your body up. We're talking about complete fasting, either fasting for a day or 24 hours, I'll say. So from 5 o'clock one day to 5 o'clock the next day, or just shortening your window of time, intermittent fasting. So you if you miss breakfast, you start at 12, you end at 7 or 8. You don't eat past that point. Okay. That's intermittent fasting. You can do a 6-hour window. It's up to you. You could do 3 meals. You could do a meal at 12, 3, and then 6, and then be done. Or 2 meals a day, one at 1, one at 5, but you're just shortening the window. Okay. Rotisserie chicken, if it's not organic, I wouldn't get it, because if it doesn't say that there is no hormones, no estrogen, no genetically, if it's not saying that, then that means it probably is. Because trust me, they would advertise it if it was. All right. But they can't advertise it if it's not. So you're eating, it's not good for you. Okay. High intensity interval training is the next strategy for burning fat. You have to have exercise that's not, when you get on a treadmill. Now, it's okay to do consistent exercising, like when you're getting on a treadmill to run a couple of miles and you're at a steady pace. That's fine. That's a recovery. But you want to be sprinting. You want to be sprinting for 30 seconds and resting for 30 seconds. There's small bursts of energy. This increases human growth hormone. And it is it causes your body. See, if you're just consistently running, like you just on a treadmill, I see people just cruising. I'm like, man, you could get so much more out of this workout. See, you're going to burn, calories right there, but then that's it. It's done for you. Okay. When you're doing the small bursts, right, you're not going to burn a lot of fat right when you're doing it. But what's going to happen is if you get a good night's rest, you're going to be burning fat for the next 24 to 36 hours. So it helps to prolong the fat burning process. So if I did high intensity interval training today, but so while I'm sitting here and for the next day, my body will be burning fat, even if I'm watching TV or doing nothing. Okay. So high intensity interval training will help. Think about how sprinters look versus like marathon runners, or long distance runners. Long distance runners, first of all, it eats into their muscles and and I'm not, it's fine. But they're burning so many calories that it's starting to, it's starting to go into their muscles and starting to eat away their muscles. And sometimes they still have belly fat. But when you think about a sprinter, their tone, body, skin, because they're sprinting, they're doing high intensity interval training. Okay. So make sure that you're doing small bursts. I don't care if you're on a bike, do it fast for, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and just recover. Sometimes I go for 10 seconds all out, and then I recover for about 20 seconds, and then I do it again all out, and then I recover. And sometimes I get on a treadmill and I do that for like 25 minutes or maybe 20 minutes. I'm just, I'm sprinting every 10 seconds and then resting 20 to 30 seconds because, your heart rate is going to be so high and you want to bring it back down, and then you want to bring it back up and bring it back down. And that's high intensity interval training. You need to do that no matter what you do. All right. Also, muscle building. So muscle building, the more muscle you have, the more your body is able to burn fat. So if I'm building muscle, then my body is able to burn fat. And this is why bodybuilders can eat so many calories, because their body just burns it right off. They have so much muscle. All right. How long should the workout be? 12 to 21 minutes is good for high intensity interval training. If you can get 12 to 21 minutes of that, then that's good. And you don't have to do it every day. You can do it 2 days a week. You know what I'm saying? Some people might do it 3 days a week if they have the joints and the ability and the stamina. Don't just start off crazy or anything. And what takes your heart rate to get up is different for somebody else. So I might have to go faster to get my heart rate up. Someone who's not used to working out, their heart rate will get up right away. And that's fine as long as you're getting your heart rate up and you're exhausting yourself. All right. So muscle building, don't forget to build muscle, because muscles help to burn fat. Building muscles in the biggest muscle places, or the places where you have the biggest muscle, actually helps to burn fat. So like your back has big muscles in it. So if you work your back out, your entire body will actually burn more fat. Or if you're working like your quads, your legs out, like you're doing squats with weights and lunges and things like that, and you're getting that muscle in your legs or in your back, that's really good. I do a lot of pull-ups because pull-ups help to work my back out. And again, that helps to build muscles in my back, and just building muscles in the largest muscle groups will help your body to burn fat much better. All right. So make sure that you're working out your muscle groups, especially the large muscle groups. All right. The next thing I would say is, I buy my organic meat from a lot of different places. It's Trader Joe's, sometimes Whole Foods. It just depends. I order my groceries sometime online. Work out on an empty stomach and then eat after your workout. If you're able to, don't eat anything before you work out, because you don't want your body to go through the calories from the food you just ate first. You want your body to start hitting that fat burning level immediately. All right. So make sure when you work out, the best time is obviously if you're going to do that in the morning. Working out on an empty stomach will actually help to increase your fat burning potential. Okay. All right. The next thing I would say is try a ketogenic diet, which is a low carb diet, high fat diet. All right. You're getting 70 to 80% fats in your diet. You're getting about maybe 20% protein and 10% carbs. All right. So try a ketogenic diet, because what it does is it allows your body to go from burning sugar for fuel to burning fat for fuel. You want your body to burn fat for fuel, not sugar. So there's a way you can eat that helps your body to use fat for fuel and it gets burned off versus sugar for fuel. And a ketogenic diet is the quickest way to allow your body to do that. Some people stay on it long periods of time. I don't think you need to stay on it long periods of time. Once you get the results, now if you feel good on a ketogenic diet and you don't need a lot of carbs, then you can continue it. I know for me, I come off, because I need a little bit of carbs, healthy carbs, brown rice, quinoa, chickpeas, So I have to have some carbs, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, they're just so good. All right, buckwheat, any of that type of good stuff is good. All right. So try a ketogenic diet. If you ask me which diet works best, there's a lot of diets out there. I would say the ketogenic diet works best with burning belly fat and just fat, period. All right. So you will lose a lot of fat on a ketogenic diet. Again, just make sure you're getting healthy sources of protein. I'm a fan of bone broth, healthy sources of omega-3 fatty acids, and make sure you take a fish oil supplement also. Okay, that'll help you get even more healthy fats in your diet. And then the last thing I will say is to get more sleep. And the reason why I say this is because, see, sometimes, so even when you don't get enough sleep, again, you increase your stress levels. And I know this is like, you don't know which is bouncing off of what, because stress makes you not sleep, and then not sleeping makes you more stressed. Okay. So it's like this ongoing cycle. So if you have to take a supplement, some melatonin short term or something, some lavender oil baths, whatever, get some sleep. You know why? Because it doesn't matter about anything else I just told you. If you don't, even when I do my high intensity, now I done worked out hard today. I mean, I done got my heart rate up to 100% today. Actually, it went to 103. I had to slow down. But if I do all of that and I'm like, my body is spending the rest of the day trying to go back to the homeostasis. It's trying to balance out. And so your body has to actually use calories and burn calories to balance back out from a hard workout like that. And that's why you burn so much fat, is because your body has to burn the fat and burn the calories in order to kind of equalize you back again. Okay. So I can do all of that. But if I don't go to bed and give me a good 7-8 hours of sleep tonight, I will not burn fat. You will not burn fat if you don't sleep. I know people who do so much, but the reason why they can't lose weight is because they're not sleeping at night. When you're sleeping, that's when the work is being done. That's why when you wake up, you're at your lightest. Your stomach is coming in a little bit. Your body is burning fat when you're sleeping. If you're not sleeping, you're stressing your body out, and your body's not able to utilize the nutrition and utilize the fact that you've exercised and all of that the right way. Okay. So studies have shown that if you're getting under 6 hours of sleep, that it's much hard. They've done studies on this. It's much harder to lose weight. They put people on the same regimens, and those who are not getting enough sleep will not burn any fat. They will burn hardly any fat. So I'm sorry to tell you, but your 4 hours of sleep, the person who's like, and I hear this all the time, I can function off of 4 hours of sleep. Okay, you go ahead and do that. But I'm just letting you know, down the line, Alzheimer's is waiting for people who are sleep deprived long term. This is what you call long-term sleep deprivation. Your body cannot burn fat like that. So you need to sleep. You cannot function off of 4. I don't care if you're like that person who could get 4 hours of sleep. You got to get some more sleep. You're going to have to figure out some strategies to sleep longer. All right. Because your body needs to burn fat and it needs to stay healthy, and your brain is recovering when you're sleeping. And so again, Alzheimer's and brain degenerative diseases are waiting for people, and other diseases are waiting for people who don't sleep long term like that. So you can't go years and years like that and not think that something's going to catch up with you. Now the studies have shown that the best quality of sleep and that a person will get is the earlier they go to sleep before midnight, the better. So if someone goes to sleep from 10 to 6, it's better than going to sleep from 12 to 8 or 1 to 9. Even if they're all getting 8 hours, it doesn't matter. The person who goes to bed before 12 o'clock will feel more revitalized and energized in the morning, and their body will burn more fat. And back in back in the day, I would say, when it would get dark at 6, people went to bed early. They went to bed once it started to get dark, and they woke up very early. Now we're in a generation where like people are staying up to 3 and 4, and and then it don't matter if you, I don't, just hear me for 1 second. If you go to bed at 4, I know you've done it before, whether it's in college, partying, whatever. But when you go to bed at 3 and 4 in the morning, it don't matter if you get 10 hours of sleep. You are tired the next day. I've done it. Okay, I'm going to bed at 3. I'm just sleep to 11. I'm still tired. I don't care if I sleep to 12 or 1. I'm still, and I can't sleep that late, but I'm just saying I'm still tired. So your body still is not properly doing what it's supposed to do. So make sure that you try to get some sleep. And yes, and naps can help a lot, especially if you didn't get a lot of sleep. I'm a fan of naps. I love naps. I used to go to my car on my breaks when I worked and take naps just to revive. I would feel energized after that. So just make sure that you are getting your sleep, because you're not going to burn belly fat if you don't sleep. I'm telling the truth. Again, people wonder why they do all this and they still can't burn the belly fat. It could be small things like you need to sleep. You need to start. And when they start sleeping, they're like, oh my God, I'm starting to burn fat. And you know what? The last thing I'll say, I feel really bad when I'm looking at people in the gym who I've seen in the gym for 2 and 3 years, and they just not losing no weight. Like, they working really, really hard. And I'm like, I know they're missing something. I don't know what it is because I haven't talked to them, but I know they're missing something. That may be the person that's getting 3 and 4 hours of sleep. That may be the person who keeps a bugaboo boyfriend or girlfriend around longer than what they need to, that's stressing the crap out of them, and they can't function properly. Their bodies can't function properly because they're too stressed out. And these are cortisol issues, or they're, just whatever it may be. You need to make sure that you're looking into all of these aspects, because again, belly fat is not a one-dimensional thing for a lot of people. But I promise you, if you listen to the tips that I gave you and you go through them and you start to implement them from beginning to end, you can wind up with a flat stomach. You really can. You can wind up with a flat stomach. The only thing I would say about having children sometimes is having children, it can stretch the muscles apart, and sometimes that has to be fixed. But that doesn't mean that you have to have belly fat. But it will kind of poke out if your muscles have been pulled apart from, childbearing. So, watch out for that too, for if you feel like my stomach is kind of small, I don't have a lot of, fat, but I can feel that something's not right after having kids. Okay. So, make sure that that you're following these guidelines. And yes, Sister Maya, a bugaboo boyfriend, girlfriend. I feel like relationships stress people out the most. Emotional stress, mental stress, abusive relationships, working jobs that are just tiresome, all of that matters. And I'm not going to say you could just quit your job, but what I will say is de-stress, de-stress at night, acupuncture, lavender oils, take a walk in nature. I'm telling you, it can help. Just go outside and just take a walk, take a stroll if you're feeling on edge, and it will relax you. Get some sun, so make sure that you're just doing the simple things that you may think are like minute, but I'm telling you, this stuff makes a huge, huge difference. I know, because I had my adrenal glands broke for about 2 months, and it was the worst period of time in my life. I mean, it was, the anxiety and the racing thoughts and yeah. And so if that's you, stop the caffeine immediately and fix that part. But you got to slow down. Oh, and if this is a stress issue, don't do high intensity interval training. If you're stressed out and your adrenal glands are messed up and your cortisol levels are high, and you don't do the crazy exercise, the reason, until you de-stress, until you get balanced with your stress levels, because exercise is another stressor. And for someone whose adrenal glands are pretty much broke, who have high cortisol levels, too much exercise can actually harm you. So I will tell you that do not just go for long periods of walk. Do some steady pace stuff if it's more of a stress issue and you are just full of anxiety, can't sleep at night, racing thoughts. If you have those signs and you are super stressed, you got to get your stress down first. And then you can go into some high intensity interval training and some other stuff. Okay. So be very careful that you're not doing anything to add to the stress until you de-stress, because stress accumulates over time. It doesn't go anywhere, and your adrenal glands can't get turned off by themselves. Cortisol don't get turned off by itself. It doesn't have an off button. It only has an on button. The parasympathetic part of you have to turn it off. Your nervous system actually has to turn it off. So you have to relax to turn it off. It doesn't turn off by itself. It only has an on button because it's there to help you deal with stress. It's there so that when an anxious situation comes, when a kid jumps in front of a car, you can act immediately. If a tiger comes running in the room, you're going to run very quickly. It turns on to help you with stressful events, but it does not turn off. So the other part of you has to turn it off. And you just have an on switch that hasn't gotten turned off if you are have high levels of cortisol, and it'll show in the belly. Okay, so definitely be careful with too much exercise if you're in that position. And yes, coffee can be bad for you if you're in that place. Do not cut the coffee off immediately if you are if you have adrenal fatigue syndrome, okay? Or cut the coffee completely. You don't need the caffeine, or maybe get it from green tea extract or something like that. All right. So I hope that this helped you. I'll come back next week. I'll do some Q&A, some more Q&A. Acupressure points, the okay, here in the chest area, the stomach area, basically massaging those areas. Just massaging them can de-stress your body from tension and stuff. So it's at the top, at where the skull meets. Then it's towards the back area, like where your it's hard to show you, but in the mid back area, getting somebody to just massage for 5 minutes a day. Well, you can do it. Sometimes I just do it. I just start to massage my head at night, and I just release a lot of tension. All right. So that's what I meant. Sorry for saying that. But yes, make sure that you're doing all of these steps. And I'm absolutely certain that you'll definitely see a difference. And again, make sure you're eating a nutritious, you have a healthy diet. All right. So thank you guys again. I'll come back on next week to do some more Q&A, and I'll make sure you guys can submit some questions. And also don't forget to check out my detox program, because I made it in mind with thinking about all of these things, getting the right nutrients, the right protein, the right amounts of fiber, the right amount of healthy fats into your diet, and helping your body to detox from toxins, because that's another reason why people hold on to too much fat, because toxins hide itself in the fat. Toxins hide inside of fat cells. That's where they hide. And if you don't release those toxins out, you cannot burn fat. So some people don't burn fat because they are too toxic. And if you are too toxic, you will not burn fat. So make sure that you check out the detox so that you can detoxify your body, so you can get on to a fat burning lifestyle continuously. I like burning fat all the time. And it doesn't mean you're going to stay skinny. Build muscle. You'll be a good, healthy weight for you, whatever you desire. All right. So wanted to encourage you on that. And thank you guys again for listening. I'll be back on next time. Bye-bye.